ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Console Gaming channel. This is the wonderful, beautiful, delicious podcast. We're just rounding up what happened this week. And guys, it's been a week. It's been a week. We started the week off pretty strong, not going to lie. We started off with a release of the new addition to the Nintendo Switch family. And it looks like people were surprised. I know I was surprised. I wasn't mad about it. I'll tell you that much. I definitely wasn't mad about it. I was quite excited about it. But what I was most excited, what I was most surprised by was the response by the internet. The internet being actually pretty upset about it. They were wanting... I mean, I get it, right? People want... This is okay. Okay, we're going back. We're already off the rails. I need to get centered. Well, I've been really getting into iced Americanos lately. Again, I mean, I already was kind of into iced Americanos, but I'm more into iced Americanos right now. Oh, they're so good. This is making sound though because I have ice in it. Whatever. Who cares? So people were mad because the Nintendo Switch that's coming out doesn't have 4K. It doesn't have a new CPU. It doesn't have a new RAM. It doesn't have it's old tech, or so they say it. They're like this old tech slammed into a new body. And let's just go over what Nintendo said about this tech. Let's just talk about it real quick. Let's go new Nintendo Switch OLED. It's a Nintendo Switch OLED being added to the mix. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's see what it has. New features. Meet the newest member of the Nintendo Switch family. 7-inch OLED screen. Okay, was it up from a 6.2-inch LCD screen. Same resolution though, right? 720p in handheld mode and 1080p in docked mode. If you play exclusively in docked mode, I'm just going to say this right now, this system isn't for you. All right, moving on. Wide adjustable stand. So they changed the kickstand. Kickstand is garbage anyway. It would always break. That kickstand always snapped. First off, I don't talk negatively about stuff often. That thing, my Switch had fallen over so many times. It's more than just one kick too. You can change the angle. Built-in wired LAN port for all of you hardcore Fortnite Nintendo Switch gamers. I say that on purpose. I used to play Fortnite pretty hardcore on the Nintendo Switch until I got a Xbox Series S. Now I play primarily on the PlayStation 5. Didn't see that one coming. 64 gigabyte internal storage. I'm a video editor. I am a content creator, a photographer. I do a lot of things. And anyone, I also used to work at Apple selling computers, and then for a long time fixing them. People come to me like, "Oh, should I get the 512 terabyte, 512 terabyte, 512 gigabyte, 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte? How much storage should I get?" And my question always to them was, "Are you a creative? If you're a creative, you can get 512, or you can get up to 2 terabyte. It doesn't matter. It's never going to be enough." I mean, I had a 512. This guy right here is a 512. This is my old computer. I upgraded to a 2 terabyte. I'm filling it. It's because there's enough space to fill it. I fill it. I run out of space. So I say that on purpose because the Nintendo Switch going from 32 gigabytes to 64 gigabyte internal storage, that's great. Here's the deal. If you're a gamer, if you're playing hard, you're going to fill it. It doesn't matter. You're going to need your SD card anyway. So the internal storage part, people are like, "Oh, it needs more." It doesn't matter, guys. It wasn't a problem to begin with because you're already getting an extra SD card. Memory is so inexpensive, especially now. Enhanced audio. Cool. I like that. And then just more stuff. The Joy-Con, including the Joy-Con, you get 2 Joy-Cons. It comes in a beautiful white-ish color. And then online, you can try out different color combos to see which one's going to be the best one for you and proceed to purchase them individually. Not individually, in sets. Cool. So the Nintendo Switch OLED is not the 4K super duper next Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch Pro that everyone was all about. And I watched a video by, I think his name's Dave2D. I always mess it up. I believe his name's Dave 2D. And so first off, yeah, I think it's Dave 2D. Make sure that's muted. Yep. So first off, my video I posted on the Nintendo Switch, my conclusion as to why this was the Nintendo Switch that they decided to release was, first off, Doug Bowser came out and said, we're not just going to release tech for tech's sake. We're going to actually give you something that's good. And the part constraints on microchips are through the, like, you can't get anything right now. The fact that GPUs are going for $3,000 is insane, and it's out of this world. So my conclusion was pretty much there. I was like, you know what? The reason why the Nintendo Switch is not selling is, or not that it's not selling. The reason why this Nintendo Switch is what it is because they can't get their hands on new chips to actually give you what they probably already have, right? So these rumors exist. And this is why I did it once, and I'm upset that I did it. I didn't follow my gut. I covered it. I said, you know what? Everyone's jumping on this bandwagon, so I'm going to jump on it too, and I'm going to be all about the Nintendo Switch Pro. And I'm like, hey, Nintendo Switch Pro. Hey, Nintendo Switch Pro. And your boy, no, why do I say your boy? That's so stupid. And I was wrong. And I had to come back and be like, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. It didn't come out. I listened to all of the jabronis who pretty much bank all of their information on rumors. It wasn't fact. So, going back, the fact that these rumors came out is because Nintendo is probably very, very deep in the development of this Nintendo Switch Pro. I would go as far to say is it probably exists. It probably exists so much so that they could release it this year. But the problem is that we can't get the parts to release it. So rumors have created this issue with people being disappointed with what didn't come out. And it's like, guys, enough. It blows my mind, honestly, to see the reaction of people. This is what I would have considered an appropriate reaction. Oh, okay, so the screen's pretty much the only upgrade here. Well, I play mine majority of the time in dock mode, so just not going to get it. Right? Like, no one's, that's the thing, is like, people are like, I can't believe they're doing this, and just don't get it. Like, I would go and say the same thing about PlayStation 5. Don't go out and get it right now, because there's no exclusives for it. Like, don't get it. You can sit and be mad about what's not there, but or just be like, no, I'm not going to get it. And so I'm personally excited because I look at this kind of like how they did the 3DS. They went from the 3DS to the 3DS XL, right? This is basically just an XL. Has a little bit better speakers. The screen's just a little bigger. The XL, the whole body changed. This one, the body's not changing all that much. I think it gets a little thicker. So they said some of the Labo stuff won't fit on it. If that's something that you're into, then take that into consideration. But looking at this right now, I'm excited for it because I do play handheld mode. Although, honestly, I play handheld mode on my Switch Lite because I feel like the Switch Lite is so awesome. I mean, someone said it in the Discord. If they would have done this and released that OLED on the Switch Lite, holy macaroni, that would have been so awesome. I would have loved to see the Switch Lite get a little bit of a bump. That's cool. I think the Switch Lite is such a cool system. And so I welcome it. I think this is great. I think that it's going to be awesome. It's going to get more Switches into the hands of people that want them. It's going to give people a reason to maybe get into the Switch. And Nintendo has never been a next-gen thing. Well, I guess that's not true. I guess back in the original days, like the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo were pretty revolutionary. Nintendo 64 and then PlayStation was there at the same time. You know, like everything was kind of around the same time. And then Nintendo never really stepped into this like hyper realistic, crazy graphical output. They stuck pretty close to the heart and just made people smile with their video games. And so that's why I think that Nintendo has transitioned from like I remember back in the day, like you either had a Nintendo 64, a PlayStation, or I guess a Sega. I don't know. Like, I don't know if that was really that big of a deal. And then I guess Xbox came out. And then it started becoming a Nintendo system, Xbox, or PlayStation. And then it was like Nintendo, PlayStation, or Xbox. And then it started to get this moment, this time happened where Nintendo ended up becoming a system that just most gamers owned. They owned a Nintendo system, whether it was a 3DS, an Advance, SP, a GameCube, a Wii. They just owned a Nintendo system, and then they chose the side, Xbox or PlayStation. And I think that this is yet another thing to solidify itself in the family. Like, hey, people who don't have a Nintendo system have been thinking on the fence about it. Here's something that just looks a little bit fresher. I mean, the colors are going to be great. A 720p OLED screen, I'm into it, man. And you're going to be able to go out and get it. You're going to be able to go to the store and get it. I mean, if they came out, and this is something that Dave 2D said in his video, if they came out and said, here's the system, this would have been a scalper's like complete and utter dream come true. And so to combat that, they said, you know what, forget it. We're just going to wait till this isn't going to be so hard to get out to people, and we're going to make what we already have better. And they're not hurting on their Nintendo Switch sales. They're not hurting on getting Nintendo Switches out. They can get them out. People are buying them in drove. Like, there's no problem selling a Nintendo Switch. So, I mean, it's a smart business decision. Let's not release it yet. When you start to see a dip, then we'll release it. Anyway, we're sticking on this for way too long. I feel like something that I'm becoming increasingly more in tune with is, you know, the community as this awesome, rad, super cool, rad community grows on this channel. What I'm seeing outside of this channel, not much on this area, because this area we promote positivity and we promote just positive thinking in general. I just see a community of people who just like no matter what happens, they're just like, well, come on, why didn't you do this? And it's like, nah. So people have been, I have a video about the Xbox Elite controller, Elite Series 2. It's a 59-second video because it's intentionally a short, which is a maximum of 60 seconds. 59 really is the safest you want to go for that. And people are correcting me on a couple things. I did make a mistake. I said adaptive triggers, and I meant to say, not adaptive, but I meant to say trigger stoppers, but I didn't. I said adaptive triggers, and just didn't think anything of it. And they don't. The PlayStation 5 has adaptive triggers, and I can't even tell you how many times someone's gone on there, and now people are going to do it even more, and said, hey, man, it's adaptive triggers. And I'm just like, cool, man. Be original. Just be original. Or I guess there's a problem with this controller. So it has had a track record of something like it has, drift. I guess the thumbsticks drift, which we'll circle back to that because I want to talk about that for a second. I guess the bumper button, it just has some issues, which I'll say for a controller that has as much tech slammed into a controller like that, it doesn't surprise me that, honestly, the way people treat their things, it's going to break. It's not, and there's so much tech in it. It's like incredible. And to that remark, like, I released a 59-second video, and there's only so much I can say in 59 seconds. And people are like, oh, you missed this. Oh, you missed this. And I'm like, dude, like, get it to just be happy. Just be a little happy. You know what I mean? Like, hey, real quick, can you just do me a favor? Not that big of a, just be happy. You can try that on. I mean, it's real easy. You just kind of slip yourself into it. It's like nice and warm. Like you just put it on. You don't have to button it up all the way. I get it, right? Like, it's new for you. Like, you don't want to just like button every single button up, because then you're sitting there and you're like, man, this is uncomfortable. I'm not used to this happiness. Just put on that jacket and kind of just be like, oh, and just be happy. And so people have just been like, does it come with free stick drift? Isn't there stick drift? What about stick drift? And I'm just like, hey, like, when you go outside and you like look at other people and you're like next to another person, do you look exactly like that person? Like, when you wake up, do you think, you know what I'm going to be today? Exactly the same as everyone else always. Because that's like what I'm seeing is like people just say the same things, especially the negativity. When I see like the negative, like, oh, the stick drift, oh, this is garbage, it's stick drift, oh, stick drift, oh, stick drift. I literally read the same words over and over and over again, and I'm like, oh, you're so not original. Just be a little bit. I've had some pretty funny, super like witty comments about some of the issues, the known issues that have come with this controller. And to that, I have commented on those. I tried to comment on all of them, but there's just so many now. And it's literally the same words over and over again. And I'm just like, whatever. If you're not going to be original, I can't cater. I like want to interact with people who are real humans, but you're not. You're a robot. You're a robot who just copies what everyone else says because it's cool to be smad, which I'll say right now. No, it's not. It's not cool to be mad. My eyes had to do like a full thing because like I can't believe that I have to say that. Take a sip. What I love about these podcasts is they're just so loosey-goosey. I got like things to say, but honestly, this is my way to just kind of go off the rails and not even worry about it and just be like, hey, I'm talking to you about some gaming news, but also just you need to tighten it up a little bit, community. You just got to like, tighten it up. Just like be a little bit better. Just be a little 1% better every day, you know? It's not that tough. So, anyway, it's just, it really blows my mind. I am kind of amazed by how people act sometimes. And like, it's crazy. I'm going to be honest with you. This is the first time I've ever experienced something on this scale. I've never had a video get attention like that. And then people just continuously saying stuff like it's kind of overwhelming, not going to lie. But to that point, if your comment was either, oh, I would never get this, the stick drift is awful. First off, if you've never purchased it, okay. How would you know? Like other people, I guess, say it, but I don't know, whatever. I would never get this. Stick drift is awful. My thought process, like my mind broke for that for a second. Of course, you wouldn't get it because you hear it. I get it. Okay. Back to, or right button doesn't work, or this is garbage. Or some people like, I bought 4 of them. Every single one of them was dead on arrival. Dude, to that person who bought 4 controllers and every single one was dead on arrival, you need to go outside, buy a lotto ticket because your luck is so bad it's good. Like you literally have 1 in a million chances. Like at that point, right? Like every single one was dead on. Crazy. Some people that are so funny. They're just like gets mad, drops controller, every piece falls off. I love that because everything's magnetic on there. Or just funny stuff like that. Like people saying like, oh, I got stick drift because I got so mad that I threw the controller. Like just interesting. People just like do me a favor. Just be a little bit more original. I like it. I really do. I'm getting that whisper on. Man, that was way too long, huh? Way too long on that. I just have spent so much time. Let me see if I can find a comment right now, actually. I'm just going to go in. Man, we're really cruising, man. We're growing. We're growing fast. We're growing real fast. People seem to really dig some of this short form stuff, which is interesting to me because it's my first time. I did ask a yes or no question, so that's kind of a thing. Like I say, I said, would you ever buy this? And people are like, no. Yeah, hey, look, I'm reading some right now. Not adaptive triggers. Those are trigger stoppers, not adaptive triggers. Someone said, I would love, I know it has problems, but I don't care. I'll buy it anyway. It's beautiful. I love it. I love that. The honesty. So, whoa, there's a lot. That's an interesting comment. For the amount of money that it costs, it's amazing that it still doesn't have haptic feedback. I mean, it was created a while ago, right? I was like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I think. This is the Series 2. Costs more than half an Xbox. Why not just say it costs about as much rather than this backwards sentence? Like, I mean, every comment helps your algorithm, but it's like people, I guess, really got to do it. They really got to say it, man. Has a lot of stick drift. Those aren't triggers. Those are trigger stoppers, not adaptive. No, good players don't need enhanced stuff to win. Love that. Someone wrote, it actually doesn't, but okay. I'm assuming that that's adaptive triggers when I said that. Oh, man. Just people, man. All right. I can't dive too deep into this because we'll be here forever. There's just so many. There's so many. I want to talk about what just happened today. We had a presentation from EA. They talked about Apex and Battlefield 2042. It's like a 45-minute thing. The developers and the two companies multiple companies working on it, all got together. It was actually interesting. They all got to like talk. So it was literally the group who's making Battlefield talking to the group who's making Apex. And there's some like background story and stuff like that. And it's about the future of first-person shooters. And I made a quick little short on it saying basically that the question was like, so the question everyone wants to know is, what's the future of first-person shooters? The guy's like, I don't know. Isn't that great? And it was just them talking. There wasn't much you missed if you missed it, so don't feel like you need to go back and watch that. And then we had a state of play, and this was the first big state of play by Sony since E3. Now, Sony historically doesn't attend E3. I don't know why. I'd love for them to have been there to showcase something, but if what they showcased today, which you're watching this the next day, if what they showcased at this state of play on the 8th of July was all that they had to showcase at E3, then it's probably best that they really didn't go into much. I was going to cover it and I was watching it and I was like, okay, let's cover this for everybody. And I looked and there's nothing that we don't already know. They went deeper into a couple games I'm excited for. Tribes of Midgard, I'm really excited for. It's interesting. There's going to be a lot more to it, which is kind of cool. And there's going to be multiple seasons, and it gives you something to do. And it's more than just like a one and done kind of thing. So it looks like there's going to be getting continuous support. So I'm excited for that. That's going to be fun. They also showed I forgot the name of it. I was watching it and then I'm just like, there's nothing new here. That game where the dude, like as you play, he's just aging and getting older and older and older. It's a combat game. They showed a game that is going to be like an online battle royale fighting game. But like as I watched through it, there was another one. Oh, you know what? IGN has a list of them all right now. So I'm just going to look that up right now. But as they were showing it all off, there was Fist. That's what it's called, Fist. It's like a really cool looking side or like platformer style game. I think if I'm getting it right, let me just make sure. Yeah, I looked it up and Forged Shadow Torch. I believe that is what it is. Yeah, you're like a bunny in a crazy suit. It's not a side scroller. Is it a side scroller? I don't think so. It might be. Yes, it is. Okay, so it's a 3D side scroller kind of thing. At any rate, it looks really cool. Like I was like, this looks kind of sick. But the big presentation was Deathloop. I personally am not really into that game. It looks cool. It looks whatever. It's not my cup of coffee. So I just like kind of was like whatever. But man, there was just nothing. I actually don't know what I want from Sony right now, because I'll tell you what, like we don't have much from Sony. I'm sitting here with this PlayStation 5, and the most love it's gotten from me was Ratchet and Clank and the remake of Final Fantasy VII when they re-released it with PlayStation 5 level of graphics. That's it. I just like really want more. I mean, the thing costs an arm and a leg, and I just want a little bit more with it. And I think that's where some of this is like really starting to, like I'm starting to feel some of what's going on in the community is just like, hey, we got this system, this PlayStation 5 that is insane. Like, this thing can do things. I mean, the controller, the adaptive triggers, which I obviously don't know what those are. I do, but everyone thinks I don't. The haptic feedback, the way that it feels in the hand, the technology that this PlayStation 5 has, we're getting just nothing, really. We had Returnal, I suppose. Which is a handful. Meanwhile, Xbox is dropping bombs after bombs after bombs after bombs, going, hey, here's stuff, here's stuff, here's stuff. There's so much content on the Xbox in the whole the Microsoft ecosystem. Literally have no idea how to handle it. It's crazy. And so I'm looking at this PlayStation 5, and I'm just like, man, I just want so much. And so I had high hopes for this State of Play. It's just something new, some new stuff, anything new. And it was just kind of reiterating that we got certain things coming down the pike. I think the most excited thing that I am looking forward to is Midgard, Tales of Midgard, and Kena Bridge of Spirits. Bridge of Spirits looks dope, but Kena is like a $40 game. It's not even a full price AAA title. And what the other one is, Trials of Midgard, I think is a $20 game, $30 if you go Ultimate. I went Ultimate because I wanted, whatever. I want to see whatever continuous DLC they have. Not continuous, but whatever additional DLC they have. This is a game that I do plan on playing continuously, so I think that it's going to be something that I do spend a lot of time in. But, yeah, I mean, Sony, like, I hope you're slow rolling something pretty powerful because I'm ready. This past week, nothing really new for Nintendo. What am I saying? No new games for Nintendo. Next week, we got some pretty big titles coming through for Nintendo. With, I believe next week is, because we're sitting here, I think we get, I could be wrong, Skyward Sword comes out next week. Skyward Sword comes out on the 16th, which is technically, yes, next week. Oh, next Friday? Yeah. Which will be tight. I'm excited for that. We're going to stream the heck out of that. So be ready, community. We're going to be streaming pretty hard. That's it. I'm stalling. That's all I got. So, without further ado, hold on. That's it, guys. That's all I got. I got a text while someone was honking at me. That's the Game Podcast. That's the wrap up for the week. And, well, happy gaming. See ya.